All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, that will honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Uh, this lesson is going to be about the parables in Matthew the 13th chapter, because all the parables that Yahushua was speaking of during in this chapter were uh, mostly touching on the same subject, and it was the parable of the wheat and tares, letting them grow together, and then separating the wicked from the righteous. And the reason, and this was inspired because I was reading the book of Matthew today, and felt led to speak on it. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into the book of Matthew, and then grab other precepts that come to mind throughout. Um, but this is Matthew 13 and 1, and it says, "The same day when Yahushua out of the house and sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore." It says, "And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth." So the first seeds that were cast out, they're right away, birds came and, ate those seeds. And then the second, seeds were cast out, and they're on stony, like gravel, and they kind of they sprung up, but they didn't have any root into that good soil. So a gust of wind, whenever you have a plant growing on like loose gravel, a gust of wind can blow them away. It says, "And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. You know, but other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some in hundredfold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold." All right, and that's symbolic for the righteous that come into the truth. That seed is planted in their mind. This truth is planted in their mind, and they were given that faith to where that the knowledge will spring forth, and they'll teach others. All right, and then it has that ripple effect. It has that fruitful effect, I should say, since we're talking about seeds. It says, "Who hath ears to hear, let him hear." And this is part of it too, Matthew 13 and 10. "And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given." All right, so he straight up told the disciples, "Hey, it's for some people. All right, it's only for the righteous. It's only for the elect and the 1/3 of Israelites. All right, it's not given to the heathen nations, and it's not given to 2/3 of Israel. All right, and that's what this whole chapter is about. And it's funny because it's the 13th chapter. All right, and if about numerology, that's another way of saying 1/3. All right, and just to clarify, let's get Zechariah 13 and again 13 1/3. Zechariah 13 and 7, and 7 is the number which represents complete. It says, "Awake, O sword, against my shepherd, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Lord of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered, and I will turn my hand upon the little ones." It says, "And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third part, the 1/3, all right, shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. Because when you and that's another a parable, all right, that the Most High used in the Old Testament was likening the righteous unto gold, all right, you know, because gold is a precious metal. That's something that you desire. It has value, but when you dig up gold, it doesn't, shine like that. It's got dirt and it's got other uh, undesirable uh, uh, minerals, dirt, you name it. So to do that, to clean it and to find that gold and make it shine, you have to first strain it, get the dirt out, or get the water out. Then you got to put it through the fire to refine it. You got to beat it, put it in the fire, beat it into whatever uh, shape you want it as. And it says, "They shall call on my name. I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Lord is my God." So only 1/3 of Israel is going to be tried like that. All right, they're going to make it through the fire. The other are going to fall by the wayside. They're going to get caught up in vain philosophies. They're going to get caught up in let's go back to Matthew 13 because Yahushua breaks it down plainly. It says, "For whosoever hath," Matthew 13:12, "For whosoever hath, for whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, because it was prophesied by Isaiah. All right, the Spirit came on Isaiah saying, hey, Israel is a rebellious people. They're not going to hearken unto the law, statutes, and commandments. Although they hear the message, they hear, the prophecies that, and they see the prophecies manifest in front of them. They lack the understanding. And that's what Yahushua is referencing, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. For the people's heart is waxed gross. All right, and it, in the scriptures, when they talk about the word heart, the Hebrew word for heart is la'ab, which you can also substitute with mind. All right, it says, and wax gross, meaning that it's when it's kind of like when you get wax in your ears. It's hard for you to hear. Same thing, but it's like their mind is waxed gross. It says, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed. So they're walking around blindfolded, ear muffed, and they got that mental handicap on. It says, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. All right. So it says you're gonna have people that are blinded, are deaf, whatever. But then you're gonna have some that are gonna walk around blinded, but then all of a sudden they see the message, they understand. Just like when how Yahushua literally healed the blind and made the lame walk, and all the other miracles, rose the dead. That's also equally symbolic to people that are spiritually dead, without the understanding. All right, because the scriptures repeat itself time and time, saying how this is the light. This is eye salve. Eye salve is something that you'd put in your eyes like eye drops to help you see. This is a light to help you see in dark times. Like we're in right now. These evil times are symbolic for, or darkness is symbolic for evil times. and the light is understanding. So when you have understanding of the prophecies that are to come, well, let me grab that real quick. Wisdom, knowledge. Yeah, Isaiah 33:6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." Right? Because when you have the light, you have the wisdom and knowledge. You understand what's happening. You're not deceived by Esau's, the so-called white man, Esau Edom, um, the devil. You're not ignorant of his devices. You have that light, and you're stable. You know how to uh, um, counter against his moves, and that's going to be the strength of your salvation. And the fear of the Lord is his treasure, right? Because when you fear the Lord, you're going to do what he says, because you don't want to suffer the judgment that's going to come upon the wicked. So you're going to walk in his ways, because that's life, right? Let's keep reading Matthew 13. It says, "But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them." And that's, you can say that about today too, because the prophets and righteous men of during this time that were walking around with Yahushua, they were always inquiring about, when the kingdom of heaven was going to come into pass. And Yahushua said, well, there's going to be earthquakes in diverse places, uproars of the people, and these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, and we're seeing that today. And if you can perceive it, reincarnation is in the Bible. And, if you want understanding, just Google Great Millstone, GMS reincarnation, and I'm sure thousands upon thousands videos will pop up on that topic. But those men back then are here today, and they see it. It says, Matthew 13:18. It says, "Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower." All right, so this is another parable, and throughout this chapter, like I said earlier, they're all saying the same thing, or they all portray the same thing, or the message behind the parables are saying the same thing. It says, "When anyone heareth the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which received seed by the wayside." So whenever somebody gets understanding, a wicked person is gonna come by and be like, "Oh no, you shouldn't believe in that." He's gonna try to entice them with other philosophies. Oh, the white man wrote the Bible. What are some? Oh, God loves everybody, or He loves everybody the same. No, that's bullshit. The Bible was created by and for the Israelites, or I should say the Bible was created through and for the Israelites, but it's created by inspired by the Heavenly Father. It says, "But he that received the seed into stony places, the same is he that heareth the word, and anon with joy receiveth it. Yet hath he not root in himself, but endureth for a while. For when tribulation and persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended." So the ones that the seeds that were cast among thorns, that's symbolic for people that get understanding of the scriptures. They wake up to the fact that they're an Israelite, but then when certain hell comes upon them, they fold. They don't, which basically means when they don't have any root in themselves, meaning they didn't really have any they weren't rooted in their faith. All right, They weren't rooted in the names of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Because a true man of the Lord, no matter what situation they're in, they're going to have that faith that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to deliver them from that certain situation, and they're not going to fear any hell that they're going through. And, just to bring it back to this scripture, that's going through the fire and being refined. That's how your faith is tried. All right. Let's see. He also that received seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word and the care of this world, and he in the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. So not only may you catch hell, but the another way to tempt someone or to try your faith is to be tempted, with riches, like what Yahushua said, man cannot serve two gods. He can't serve mammon, which is money, and the Most High, for he will love one and hate the other. So your mind shouldn't be upon trying to chase the bag, chase women, chase prosperity. It should primarily be about serving the Most High, and just all those other worries, just worry day by day. It says, verse 24, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, this enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat, and went his way. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? Let's pull up images of wheat and tares. And as you can see, wheat and tares look very similar. Here's a better picture. But you can't really tell until they're fully grown. Because when they're fully grown, wheat will turn into that golden brown color, and tares will be look like a dried green color. But when they first start out, they look pretty similar. So so he was trying to sow wheat, and somebody came and sowed tares among them. So it says, he said unto them, an enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then go and gather them up? But he said, nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. So, he's likening unto, the kingdom of heaven onto these wheat and tares, because you've had Israelites scattered, right? And so you can't tell on face value who's an Israelite, or even you can't even tell who's an Israelite and who's an heathen. So you let them grow and see what fruit they produce. All right. So that's where he that is righteous. Yeah, Revelation 22 and 11. Let's get the chapter. Yeah, Revelation 22 and 11, it says, he that is unjust, let him be unjust still, and he which is filthy, let him be filthy still, and he that is righteous, let him be righteous still, and he that is holy, let him be holy still. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according to his works shall be. So, this word is going out, and, over time, whether it resonates with Israelites, they're going to start acting accordingly, and they're going to grow. And that's symbolic for the fruit that, they produce, is they're going to walk accordingly. They're going to start obeying the law, statutes, and commandments. They're going to stop committing adultery. They're going to stop, eating pork or any other abominable foods. They're going to stop getting lineups. They're going to start growing their beards out, so on and so forth. They're going to start acting accordingly. But on the flip side, if it doesn't resonate with them, they're going to be rebellious, and it's going to be evident, all right? Just like it is with wheat and tares when they grow. So it says, let both grow together until the harvest, and in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, bind them up into bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. I chuckled because if I'm sure brothers know the definition of the F word, a bundle of sticks meant to burn in fire. I'll let you look that up if you lack understanding on that. But yeah, the tares were gathered up, which is symbolic for the evil seed, or the wicked ones, all right? The rebellious Israelites, or even, the heathens. They gathered together for the purpose of them being burnt. It says, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a grain of a mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, which indeed is the least of all seeds. All right. It says, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs. Excuse me. And becometh a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof. And that's symbolic for faith, all right? Mustard seed is very tiny, but as long as you, nurture it, it's going to grow into something, massive, So if you have a tiny bit of faith, a tiny bit of understanding too, but, you keep constantly working at it, it's gonna grow over time. It says, another parable spake he unto them, the kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened. All right, and that's symbolic for the 1/3. There's 3 measures of meal, all right, which is used to make bread, and then leaven would be like yeast, where if you add it into that meal, you're gonna get, a loaf. But if you just bake meal by itself, you're going to get unleavened bread. You're going to get flat bread. So if there's leaven in one and 2 don't, how do you figure out if there's leaven? If she hid it, you got to bake it first. Let it rise. Let the one rise. And that's going to be the one with leaven. It says, all these things spake Yahushua unto the multitude in parables, without a parable spake he not unto them. Because like it said earlier, it's only for, the 1/3. This message is only one for the 1/3. So there's no purpose into trying to bend over backwards to convince every Israelite or even every person under the sun, about this truth. If you can't get it, it's most likely not for you. It says that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables, I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the world. It says, then Yahushua sent the multitude away, went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. And that's also why the scriptures say, blessed is he that readeth, is because that after you read these parables, if you're confused on any of them, Yahushua will break them down. He breaks them down plainly, or Matthew breaks them down plainly, like he wrote down what Yahushua said to them in secret. It says, the field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. Yeah, and that's another thing too, is it's symbolic for these heathen nations. Like I said, I think I said, I'm not quite sure if I said this, but you had Israelites scattered amongst the heathen, and vice versa. You had heathens that scattered their seed among the children of Israel. It says the enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. And that word world is oikomene, which is an era or a time. Esau is the end of the world. Let's see, I'll get it. And Jacob is the beginning that followeth. Yeah. 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Let's go up. I'll start at 8. It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. All right, because when you go into the promise that the Most High promised unto Abraham, is the kingdom of heaven. All right, and it is passed down unto Isaac, and then it is passed down unto Jacob. And Esau had a separate blessing, he was blessed with the sword, and he was blessed for to inherit the fatness of the earth. All right, but to Jacob was the everlasting kingdom. So Esau has a very short time to rule right now. We're at the end of it, and Jacob is going to inherit that the kingdom of heaven, which is going to be eternal when Esau's kingdom collapses. But the tares, all the tares that may look like Israelites are going to be gathered up along with the tares that don't look like Israelites. They're going to be gathered up and burnt. And then, the wheat that may look like Israelites, or the wheat that may look like heathens, they're going to be gathered together and be saved. It says, the Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend in them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And he still, even though he broke it down plainly, he still said, who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Because, hey, Jake is simple, man. And Jake is also symbolic for Israel. That's a slang term that we use for Israelites. Because we're commanded to make things plain, and we'll do that, right in front of Jake, but they're still rebellious, and you see it throughout the scriptures, even from the time of, when the Israelites were led out of Egypt, the Most High, put plagues on Egypt, 10 plagues, led them through the wilderness, always came through, and then, you still had simple Israelites, turn from, the Most High, turn from Yahweh and go after idols. And, you see that today, man. The same spirits are back today. Let's see, I've been going on for a while, but I encourage, brothers to read this, because it's or I'll finish up. I'm almost to the end of the parables. It says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field, the which, when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy therefore goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field. So there's going to be people that, that this is, the that come into this understanding and recognize that this is the truth, and they go all in. You know, they invest their time and resources into understanding and teaching this truth, right? And they care less about their worldly possessions. It says, and when he had found one pearl of great price, or Salakia, verse 45, again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who, when he found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. That's another parable of going all in, being on fire for this truth. All right, when you come into the truth, you give it your all. You don't want to be counted slack in your works or your faith. It says again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind. So if you cast a net into like a sea or a creek or a lake or a pond, you have you have the chance of pulling up, brass or bass, brown, crappie, catfish, alligator gar, so on and so forth. And it says, which when it was full, they drew into shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. Because there's lawful fish that you can eat, and then there's unlawful fish you can eat. So you bring in the net when it's full of fish, and you sit down and divide up, the good and the bad. That's what the Most High is doing. All right, and He's portraying that through parables. And that's also why fishers turned to hunters. Yeah, this is Jeremiah 16:16. It says, "Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord." And that's what He set up the apostles for. He set up the prophets for. We're fishing right now. All right, we're casting out that clickbait, on the internet. We're out there on the highways and byways, in the chief place of concourse in major cities. On right in front of Jake, seeing if there's anybody that will receive this word. It says, "And they shall fish them, and after will I send for many hunters." So after the righteous are fished out, He's going to send forth those hunters, man. And well, guess what they're going to do? What does a hunter do? He doesn't wait for fish to swim up to him. All right? Or he doesn't wait. He goes after. "And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks." Let's see if there's more on it. "For mine eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is there iniquity hid from mine eyes." Because when He sends those hunters, man, they're going out for the wicked, and they're gonna kill, man. They're going in for the kill. Like that Skrillex song. And I'm doing it for the thrill. Says, so shall it be at the end of the world. The angels shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be, I think I already read that. No, he's just repeating himself. Yahushua saith unto them, "Have ye understood all these things?" They say unto him, "Yea, Lord." Then said he unto them, "Therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which bringeth forth out of his treasure things new and old. All right, and that's symbolic for people that come into this truth. We're instructed to be scholars. Like when you go into an antique store, they see what the price is on everything that's in that you bring. If it's real old, the value might change, or if it's brand new, the value might change. Or if you go into um, a house and you're remodeling it, you might have to see what's old, what can be thrown out, what's still good, what needs to be remodeled. That's that's what we're doing, man. We're seeing, we're on our watchtower. We're watching, to see, and we're also, seeing who can receive it and who cannot. That's what that's symbolic for. But yeah, that's the end of the parables. And I just thought it was cool how, the 1/3 and 2/3 were, written in Matthew chapter 13 and Zechariah 13. Oh yeah, I did think of some scriptures while I was reading that. He knoweth how to deliver. Yeah. This is 2 Peter 2:9. It says, "The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished." Right, because in the midst of, also in Matthew, I don't know if it's this chapter, but he talks about, or he doesn't talk about it. This actually happened when they were on the boat, and the disciples were facing rough winds and rough currents. Yahushua came and calmed the waters. But that's symbolic for, even though that happened literally, that's symbolic for, whatever struggles, whatever hell or evil times we're in, the Lord is always going to come through. If you're going to be cast into a burning furnace, Yahushua is going to be there right with you. All right. If you get cast into the lion's den, he's going to get an angel and deliver you food in your time of need. If nuclear missiles are about to strike this place, then he's going to send angels in those chariots to beam you up, right in the middle. But he's going to leave he's going to, what does it say? He's going to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. What else? Yeah, I'll end it there. I think this video is going on a lot longer than I originally intended it to be, but that's the spirit. So with that, I hope this video is edifying to the elect of Israel. If you're a 2/3 and you don't, then it's not meant for you. But the scriptures do say, if thou lack understanding, ask. I'll leave. Yeah, James 1:5. Going back to the parable of the mustard seed. If you understand that this is the truth, but you lack, if you lack wisdom, James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High. All right, the Most High's name is Yahweh, and you have to pray through the Son Yahushai. All right, so Yahweh through Yahushai, or the Hebrew Bahashem, which means through the name. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Babakashah, which means please give me wisdom. It says that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given to him. Let's get the chapter. Because it goes on to say, but let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. So when you pray to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai, you can't, be double-minded about your prayer. You have to believe that, he's going to come through, because when I was, first reading Matthew 13, uh, when I read about the meal and the leaven cast on, when the woman um, hid leaven in the measures of meal, I didn't get it right away. I was like, wait, hold up, because it's not a parable that's quoted a lot. But then I thought about the other parables, thought about Zechariah 13. I was like, oh, I get it now. I said a quick prayer, Yahweh Bashem El Shai, what's the meaning of this? And he supped with me. Just a quick testimony that when you pray to that name, man, he's gonna sup with you. He's gonna give you that understanding. He's gonna put the spirit on you to do a little research. But yeah, if you lack understanding, do more research. Pray, fast, uh, read, read the scriptures, man. But yeah, I hope this video was edifying and uplifting to the elect. Again, all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Double honors to the apostles of GMS, Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well. Peace and blessings to the elect out there that's pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. Shalom.